A piano changes hands. For as long as anyone can remember, children, readying for bed, are reluctant to close their eyes in the dark of night. It has something to do with not being finished with events downstairs, not wanting to be alone, not knowing just when to start dreaming. Even with a full moon in the window, it is still dark, even in your very own bedroom. All the while, the looming winter landscape brought sadness to young Olena. Ever since her mother sold the piano to pay for food and clothing, things were not the same. Music from her mother's skillful hands no longer meandered upstairs with the steam from the after-dinner tea kettle. Truth said, even in such dire times, Olena did not miss her daily chores. In the evenings, however, she accomplished very little beyond the mysterious tap-tap-tapping on the tabletop near the kitchen stove. "Olena, it's bedtime. Climb upstairs now, my pretty child." "Yes, mother, just a few more minutes." Meanwhile, far across the forest, Dmitro was learning to play notes and chords on his new piano. During daylight hours, with his calloused hands, he worked an iron plow over his wheat field. Unfortunately, in the evenings, he just did not have the hands of a pianist. His meticulous plow rows were smooth across the earth, but his ascending and descending musical arrangements were consistently ragged. Sharps and flats were not where they belonged. Grudgingly, he reasoned that the musical performance, living for so long within his heart, belonged to someone else with the proper piano hands. And so it was that Dmitro began his long return journey through the pine trees. On and on he traveled over hill and stream. Over and under he avoided briar patches with black sky storm above his shoulders. He guided the horse-drawn wagon and piano back to the little cottage where the woman with the quiet tears lived uneventfully with her melancholy young daughter. Oddly, ever since he bought the piano from the woman and child, Dmitro had an uncertain sense of time that he had never experienced. The rain began to pour and pour and pour. Finally, there, snuggled into the valley, the cottage with blue shutters appeared before him just as he remembered. He knocked on the door. Young Olena was still awake, and immediately responded to the farmer's arrival with a jump to the window. The farmer saw the curtains draw open and close. Olena, in her pajamas and bare feet, ran swiftly downstairs and out the front door to the farmer's wagon. And she knew now what she had forgotten to tell her mother. There, deep inside the piano, tucked under the intricate wood framework, was her doll that glowed in the dark. And she pressed the doll squarely on the nose, and the night sky began to glow. Yes, this is what kept her safe in the evenings long before her mother sold the piano. Fully inspired and soaking wet from rain, she leapt up and began to play the way her mother used to play late in the evenings with the steam from the tea kettle. She began to play the way she herself had practiced, tapping on the kitchen table. "I cannot believe this is the same Olena. I cannot believe this is the same piano." Olena, with beautiful little fingers, delivered on this late evening the rhapsody of classical music throughout the valley. Then, as thunder showers crackled, while helping her daughter down from the wagon, the mother accidentally tipped over the piano seat. There, half hidden beneath the sheet music, was Dmitro's worn and tarnished pocket watch, with perfectly aligned hour, minute, and second hands. And she had placed it there in haste months earlier when it fell from his pocket the day he struggled to load the piano into the wagon. I did not recognize her tap-tap-tapping on the kitchen table. Well, I did not look for my sense of time under the seat of my pants. Everyone was happy. Olena went upstairs afterwards with her glow doll and fell asleep with fresh new dreams. Dimitro, please come in out of the rain and sip a warm cup of potato and dumpling soup. Yes, Olga, I believe I will.